primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and thank you so much for watching one of my pre-release guides for Star Wars Unlimited's newest set, Legends of the Force. Now, in this guide, we're going to be focusing on the leader and their unique ability and commons and uncommons found within the set that work well with this leader. Yes, there's probably a rare or legendary or two that also pair well with your leader, but because you're limited on the amount of packs that you're opening, we're going to be focusing on the cards that you're going to have more access to within your card pool. And don't forget to enter my Guess the Showcase giveaway that we're going to be running, where you can win a custom merch bundle that includes dice, tokens, and token holders. All you have to do is guess which showcase leader I'm going to pull from the Carbonite case live on July 5th on stream. There's a link in the description below with more details on how you can sign up. Because we're likely to pull more than one type of showcase, there can be multiple winners. With that said, let's go ahead and look at this Legends of the Force leader. Supreme Leader Snoke is joining us in Star Wars Unlimited now as a leader, and as an action you can pay one resource, exhaust him, and give an experience token to a unit with the most power among friendly villain units. If multiple units are tied, you can only choose one. As an epic action, if you control 6 or more resources, you can deploy the Supreme Leader, and this means you can do this as early as turn 5. When he's deployed, he's a 4/7 ground unit that reads, on attack, give an experience token to a unit with the most power among friendly villain units. Now, we've seen this ability before in one of the first sets in Star Wars Unlimited with Grand Moff Tarkin. The difference here is Supreme Leader Snoke is only focusing on one unit, and it is the strongest unit. It cannot spread these experience tokens around, and the only way you can choose different units is by playing more powerful units. Now, you also have the ability, if you have the resource, to do 2 experience tokens on the same turn he deploys, which can be pretty effective. But you're going to have to keep one resource available. So you may be playing a little bit slower and be playing cards that cost less than your opponent every turn. Let's take a look at some cards with some key abilities or keywords that'll work well with someone like Snoke. The first card I want to look at is Shin Hati, a 4/2 unit with Hidden and Shielded. What I like about Shin here is she comes into play with that new mechanic Hidden that reads, this unit cannot be attacked if it was played this phase. So she's low cost, she has a good amount of attacking power, but a very low amount of health. You could play her when you have 4 resources, use Snoke's ability, and make her a little bit bigger. She also has Shielded, so she has multiple ways of protecting herself. If you want to wait to put an experience token on her till the next turn, that hidden mechanic will ensure you can do that with your first action. I really like the hidden mechanic because it doesn't mean you have to use everything effectively the turn it comes out. We've seen this with other cards and other leaders in previous sets. Another ability to look for is the Sentinel ability. The ability to, give experience tokens to a unit is really important, and especially if it's a unit with Sentinel. We see that with the Supremacy Tie. It's a 3/3. If it's your only unit or the unit with the highest power, you can make it a 4/4, a 5/5, a 6/6, and it's just going to essentially ensure that your opponent's going to have a problem attacking your base and give you a great attacking unit. Another card is a favorite of mine, the Drengir Spawn. This is a card that has the ability that requires it to survive its attacks. It needs to complete attacks and survive each one because it reads, when it defeats a unit, it gets a number of experience tokens equal to the defeated unit's cost. So it gets bigger and bigger. If you can make this thing a 4/4 or a 5/5 and then it starts swinging, it's dangerous. It also has the Overwhelm keyword, which is great when you're making units bigger and bigger, right? Let's go ahead and start looking at these cards aspect by aspect. We just talked about Overwhelm, and you see that here with the Exegol Patroller, a 3/1 unit, high power, low health. And early play. You can play this on first turn, and then your first action the next turn is to use Snoke's ability, making it a 4/2. Then you have cards like Praetorian Guard that work with, clearly, with Snoke. But they read, when you control a unit with 4 or more power, it gains Sentinel. He doesn't get stronger, but he can become a great blocker for you. And I guess that makes sense when we think about the movie, because I didn't see them, defeat a single person. So In the vigilance aspect, I really enjoy cards like Nameless Terror, just the art. They're definitely one of my other favorite characters within the High Republic, which is funny. I'm just because I really enjoy, I think, more of the creatures in the High Republic novel series than I do characters. But Nameless Terror is a 3-cost 3/3 that says when played, you may exhaust a force unit, and on attack, each enemy unit loses the force trait for this phase. Let me tell you why this is good. We are in a set with bases that say when you attack with a force unit, create a force token. There's also a lot of cards that reward you for having force units or having force tokens. If you can keep the Nameless Terror on board and make it stronger and stronger, and attack with it first action you get, you are going to really throw off your opponent's plays. And so that's why I'm a big fan of strengthening a unit like the Nameless Terror. Another card is the Whirlwind of Power, a 3-cost event that rewards you if you have a force unit. And it says give a unit -2/-2 for the phase, or -3/-3 if you control a force unit. So again, this is the value of having something like Nameless Terror. Your opponent won't get that at -3/3 when they play Whirlwind of Power. In the cutting aspect, Aura Sing is a 2-cost 1/4 with Hidden and Raid 2. Hidden is going to ensure that this unit can survive a little bit after you play it on the first turn, second turn, anything like that. And Raid 2 means when it attacks, it's going to increase its attack by +2. I like cards like Aura Sing because with someone like Snoke, you can put the experience token on Aura and then play another unit right after. So you make her a little bit bigger. She may not be one you're constantly putting tokens on, but if you can get one, she's still a good threat early on, allowing her to hit for 4 instead of 3. Then you have the Nihil Marauders, another High Republic character. This 3-cost 1/5 with the Raid 3. Now, similar to Aura Sing, that Raid 3 is going to strengthen your attacking power, and if Nihil Marauder is your only unit in play, it's not a bad one to put an experience counter on because it's going to make that extra health bump a little bit harder for your opponent to deal with, making it a 2/6, maybe eventually a 3/7, and then when it attacks, it just hits hard. For aggressions, you have the Purge Trooper, a force damaging unit here. 3-cost 4/2 when played, deal 2 damage to a force unit. Its penalty is really that low health, and that's what Snoke is there for. Or you have the Strike Ship. Now, Raid 3 on this Strike Ship is great. Overwhelm's pretty good too. If this is the first card you play, put an experience token on it next turn, right? It just gets better and better and better, and there are not that many space units within this set. For the villain aspect, Darth Tyrannus is a great 4-cost 4/3 shielded unit with Ambush. Shield's going to prevent any amount of damage it takes in one instance, and Ambush allows you to attack as long as the Force is with you. So I think that's really great. And then Flight of the Inquisitor is just a staple if you're playing villain in your pre-release, because you have the ability to pay 2 to return a force unit and lightsaber upgrade from your discard pile to your hand. For the non-aspects, Pelimoto is great. She's a 2-cost 1/4 that says on attack, give an experience token to a friendly vehicle or droid unit. So that's going to pair well with units like Snoke. She does not have the villain aspect symbol, unfortunately, but she can essentially do what you're already doing, keep your engine going, and I think that's really important for in a sealed pre-release. And last words. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, you can pay 2 resources to give 2 experience tokens to a unit. Again, make them bigger. If you have a unit that you wish was big enough to be targeted by Snoke, last words can help you do that, right? It can make them stronger, pay the 1, put another one on there, and next thing you know, maybe that Strike Ship or Aura Sing that you only got 1 experience token on went from becoming a 2/5 to a 4/7 or 5/8. With Raid 2 still. So again, pretty awesome. All that to say, I'm excited to see Supreme Leader Snoke in my local pre-release. I think I could have some fun with him if I get the right cards, obviously. But let me know how you do at your local event if you pulled Snoke and needed to play. What aspect did you choose? What were some of your bombs? And how did the event go for you overall? Thanks so much for watching this video. Good luck at your next event, and may the Force be with you.